Hello, lads and ladies, and welcome back for another live stream on the channel. Tonight is League One Live. Busy weekend, lots of action. We had clubs coming down from 2-0 down. We had away wins on Sky. We had home wins on Sky. We had away wins for teams at the top. We had some good home wins, and we've still got sides without victories as well. We've got sides on bad runs. We've got sides on good runs. We're only 8 games into the League One season, but again, it feels like we're so far into this season already. Let me know if you can see and hear me. Let me know if you're enjoying the show so far as well. Get liking, get commenting, and get subscribing as we welcome in our guest into Arena. Hello, Jake.
How are you?
Yeah, mate, you could take yourself off mute before you come in. That'd be a start. We'll leave the muting until we come on to the 7th game of the evening. And deliberately, I put Lincoln as far down as I could get away with. I put your bottom the last 2 times. Couldn't quite do that today. I thought I'd get a reaction out of you by putting you 7th, and you went, "Oh, we're low down. We should be."
I'm not even going to mention Lincoln because there's Jack Kershaw. I think I'm going to mention him within 10 seconds. But no, I've had a great weekend, mate. I've enjoyed myself. Good day out yesterday, despite the football. Good food, good pub, good people, and really enjoyed it, mate. I hope you had a really exciting weekend as well.
Yeah, it was great. Let's say hello to chat. Hello, Josh. Hope you're well. Hello, Jack. Hope you're well, mate. Hello, Sue. Hope you're well. Thank you for
what a woman, by the way.
What a woman. Did you eat any shortbread yesterday?
No, because I didn't go with her. But she.
Because she saved it for me. That's what it is.
Although we're going to Blackpool together. We're going to Blackpool together on Tuesday and Stoke together.
You know what you should do? Put them under a tinfoil in a secret location in town, and I'll go the next day. CJ, hello, mate. Hope you're well. Hello, James.
CJ. Carl Johnston.
No, it's not the CJ. CJ, I'd say a little story on Carl Johnson before we get going. So Carl Johnson is a player that plays for Fleetwood. In my vlog the other day, I went, "Why are we taking short corners?" Oh, actually, yes, we scored. He come up to me when I was at Pilfoot on Thursday and went, "Short corners aren't too bad, are they?" I thought, no, they're not, CJ. Come to me in 99 corners when the other ones don't work. Smart Nappers in a part. Well, what can I say? I had to just
brought it out.
Yeah. The one day of the year I'm smart. Hello, John. I hope you're well. Keep right on. Plenty of Birmingham fans in, which is good because we'll come on to them in a minute. Keep Taylor, will we, Jack? Absolutely. So, should we get on with it? Birmingham City. Mate. Birmingham City have won their first 4 home games for the first time since 2011-12 season. The last time they did that was 2011-12.
He's padding up on stats, folks, because he was worried about last week that I'd outdone him.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. 6 wins in a row since the draw on the opening day of the season. They've now scored 16 in the last 7 games. It's a great win for them. Jones started off the afternoon with goal of the season contender for one of the worst goals of the season.
Similar to Cosgrove's against Wycombe.
A pass, and Barnsley play Wycombe on Tuesday evening. A pass goes back to Bailey Peacock-Farrell, a man that I think's on 49 appearances for Northern Ireland, makes an absolute howl on. He's a goalkeeper. I'm not a massive fan of it. I thought if Sheffield Wednesday had a better goalkeeper than him, they would have gone up the year that they had him in goal. He's never really convinced me, but it's a great win. Coming from 2-0 down, the response, when you've got players like Paik, Iwata in midfield, and Dykes just in front of that, who didn't really work out yesterday, was hooked at half-time. Stansfield up there. You've got plenty of options, with forward areas and midfield options as well. It's the first time Birmingham have won after being 2-0 down since 2015, where they beat Blythe Spartans in the FA Cup. So a great result for them. They're a side that have investment, but have come together now. The players are coming together. The fans are coming together. And if they'd have stayed up in the Championship last year, they would have been up there. They'd have challenged because of the budget. They would have been able to sign the players they had and probably a bit more as well, because of obviously they would have to adapt to that level. but they wouldn't have been probably winning the amount of games if they had because of better opposition. So when you're winning games of football, it brings a new mentality into the club of a positive mentality rather than a 1 week great, 1 week bad. Because Birmingham have been good 1 in 4 in the Championship, and that's what you do for when you look at their seasons. I did a video on them, recently, and kind of since 2011, 2012, it's just been downhill ever since. A couple of 10th place finishes, a couple like 13th, but then 17, 18, 19, 20th ever since relegation last year. So it's great to see them back. Fernandes scoring again his second goal of the season. He scored previously away at Exeter earlier this season. Both his goals in the EFL have come away from home, but it was Blues with the 3 points. Great result. Peterborough are still without a clean sheet and worrying. They've conceded in all 8 games, obviously because he's not kept a clean sheet yet. Michael Owen, eat your heart out. Great result. And Blues, in terms of possession, shots on target, goals per game, are right up there at the top of the table.
Yeah, that was a nice little blurge of stats, snappers. But you've not managed to defeat me. So
I know which one you're coming out with me because you told me not to say it.
Yes. And I've just checked the game that you told me about, and that was in the FA Cup. So I'm still on for a league comeback. Anyway, we'll get on to that, right? Because that's the interesting stuff. But yeah, I thought Peterborough started really well. Really intense in their press, and you can see that with the first goal. The second goal is a great header. It's a really good corner from Katongo. Obviously, they partnered each other the other week when we played them at centre half. So one centre half to another. It was a really good header from Fernandes. Blues got themselves back into it. If you look at the goal, if you break down the Blues' first goal, it's really clever movement from Willem Williamson. He's running towards the 6-yard area, and he sort of stops, and then he comes in front of the Peterborough defender to volley home. There's a slight sort of look about the second goal with the deflection of Oscar Varlin. But the third goal, and I sent this to you earlier, Ben. The third goal, and I'm not, and people will think I have a Birmingham agenda. People think I have a Peterborough agenda as well.
People think you've got a Sheffield Wednesday, and you've got an agenda against anything that isn't
considered. I sent this to you earlier, and I zoomed in and I slowed down. Admittedly, it is very difficult for the referee to see it, but the winning goal from from Bielik comes off his arm. It comes off his arm. Let's be perfectly. It shouldn't. The goal shouldn't stand, but it's incredibly difficult for the referee to disallow it because he can't see it, and neither can the linesman. So that was a little bit touch and go. But yeah, like you mentioned, Blues, Peterborough, Ben, still haven't won at St Andrews since. They never have. They've played 8, drawn 4, lost 4. The stat that I had, Ben, was that in the EFL, Birmingham it was the first time they come from 2 down to win for the first time since 06-07 when they were in the Championship. And in that time, they've gone 2-0 down in 163 games, drawing 12, losing 151. So they've not got a great record. But, Ben, some of that I do want to pick up on was the post-match comments from Darren Ferguson. I don't know if you've seen this. He admitted that Joe Randall had omitted himself from the squad because he basically told the manager he was unhappy at Peterborough. And I wanted to get your thoughts on it because it feels a little bit like a sucker punch for Peterborough because he came in for £1 million for such expectation, didn't he? From Exeter, He had a rough start. Peterborough fans rallied around him. Perhaps they gave him a lot of stick as well. And last year was probably his best in a Peterborough shirt. He was fantastic last season for Peterborough. What do you make of Randall's decisions there to leave himself out the squad? Because it's difficult, isn't it? Because I can see both sides. Because he had a bid accepted. He had numerous bids for him in the summer, didn't he? From Bolton and potentially even Championship teams. But Peterborough decided to keep him. What's your take on all of that?
Yeah, agree. And Jack Kershaw's just put in the comments he's either a 1 or a 9. I don't think I'd go that far. He is either a 5 or a 6 or the best player on the park. When we played them both times, I looked at it, I thought Pocket, I thought Ajiboye and Randall at home for them was the best player. At Highbury, he scored the winning goal from memory. And again, And that I think this thing always believe in Joe Randall. And he is a player that can get goals. I think he got 15 goal comps last year. And he is a player that does scream to me that struggles mentally, like a lot of footballers, young footballers. And that if he came in on a free transfer, I think we wouldn't be having this thingy now. This £1 million for a League One footballer, Peterborough, the way they buy players and sell them on, he's expected to do so much better than he has when he's actually done okay for numbers, for what he's expected to do. So he does remind me a lot of Matty Virtue in the way that he's either a passenger in a 4 out of 10 or the best player on the park. Now, that's been Matty Virtue at Fleetwood at times this year, where I think in some games he's been poor, and some game I think Rotherham and yesterday I thought, wow, what a player. And that's what but players like that need runs in teams. Matty Virtue's the same at Fleetwood. He's not had a proper run in the team, so it's hard to judge. And Joe Randall is a player that realistically needs an arm around the shoulder. And I'm not kind of sure if he gets that from a Darren Ferguson type of character.
Do you think if he gone to Bolton, he gets it off an Ian Evatt? Because I don't.
I don't think he... I think he would suit someone like a Lincoln.
A Scabala.
Aside that, it's not a manager. Yeah, shut off. Not a type of manager and a type of club that want the top 6, but if they lose a game of football, it's not the end of the world, where they know long term they're going to do okay. So you would look at a Lincoln, you would look at a Blackpool maybe as well. Blackpool maybe bigger expectations than Lincoln for what they've had previously, but I think realistically for him, I think that he will come good. He's a good player. Look, Birmingham are a great side. They're going to be a mammoth this year. And by the way, another stat for you. Birmingham, 7 games in. I did a points per game stat before. I thought I only did it just because it's funny at this point. Cambridge, if they carried on at this rate, they would be on for 6.25 points. 6.25 points. You've got 1 point from 7 to be on course for 6.25. Birmingham, at the top of the league, will be on for 124.85 points. Bear in mind, there is 138 points to play for. They'd only drop 13 points. That is...
I can tell you where they're going to drop 6 of them.
Every point that they would drop is £1 million that they spent on Jay Stansfield.
Yeah.
But Jay Stansfield will score.
Stop your agenda nappers. Stop it. They'll have a go at you.
I just love Jay Stansfield. What a player. Please like, please subscribe if you are just joining the stream. As we go on to Brucey's Blackpool. Blackpool have won 4 games on the bounce. It's the first manager to ever win 4 games at Blackpool in his first 4 games, that is. Blackpool have only lost 1 game in 15 at home, going back till the middle of December last year, only losing to Stockport County in August. The game before that, they lost to Northampton Town on a Tuesday night. One loss in 2024 at home, winning 9 games, drawing 5, losing just the 1. Lee Evans has created the most chances in his position. 1 goal, 4 assists, a goal and an assist yesterday for him. A great result. Burton have conceded 7 in the last 3. Have scored 3 in the last 5 matches. No wins in 8 in their last 2. 1 win in 12 in League One. If you want to go back to the very beginning, you could say 2 wins in 21. So 3 wins in 21, 4 wins in 25. So it's a really, really poor kind of run. I think Robinson's 27 matches without a win from going back. My best point of this was, and if there's any Burton fans in, they won't agree with me, Danilo Orsi, I think he should be going on for the Olympic diving team. That is the biggest dive I have ever seen in my life. If someone thinks that is a penalty, let's have a chat. He goes through on goal and he's kind of jumped over Tyra in the Blackpool goal. And people go, why would he go down? The ball is away from him. And it's never a penalty in a million years. Blackpool look brilliant. Jordan Gabriel giving the fist pumps as well, looking happy, revitalised. Rob Apter, fantastic player, donated £500 to Bamber Bridge on Friday night, scores a peach of a goal on Saturday afternoon, where he was actually on loan a couple of years ago. Had a great loan spell at Tranmere last year as well. Blackpool have now beaten Burton Albion 3 times in 2024 in 3 different competitions.
You're just using them all so that I can't say anything.
Cup and League One. And they have scored 7 goals in the last 2 times of playing them in the last 6 weeks.
I had that one. But I've still got some stats that you've not been able to use. So get it. I'm not going to start with a stat, Ben. I'm just going to start with Rob Apter. I'm going to talk about how good that goal was. He picks it up, a ball from Jordan Gabriel, and he just runs it. He beats three defenders from Burton with literal ease. And it's a really good finish into the bottom corner. Having said that, though, Offia, the lad who they signed from Brighton, I know certainly that there were a couple of League One clubs interested in him in the summer. It was a really good goal for him, really good for him to score his first one in, and particularly a really good free kick in from Lee Evans as well, who eventually tops off the win and scores their own. Burton had some opportunities. Danilo Orsi should particularly score a header at the back post. Ben Whitfield has one that goes close as well. But yeah, I'm fully in agreement with you, Ben. Danilo Orsi should not be falling to the floor. Danilo Orsi should just stick that in the back of the net. But I don't know why he's dived. It's pathetic. I had this chat with David, the Burton fan. He was so sure it was a penalty. Why would he go down there? Well, he's trying to win a penalty and probably get the keeper sent off. That's why he's trying to get down. Yeah, like you mentioned, Burton have not won at Bloomfield Road in nearly 10 years now. Last time they won there was August 2015. And since relegation, Ben, Blackpool have won 16 out of the 27 home games, which for me is a pretty decent record. So yeah, lots of positives for Blackpool. Obviously they've got a really big game coming up on Tuesday night as well. But for Burton, I do wonder when that first win is going to come from. That you can say the start of the change in style of play and it's improving whatever they're making chances. But ultimately, if Burton are winless in 4 weeks' time, do you question Mark Robinson? Because for me, I'm starting to think he's perhaps not quite the appointment they thought he was going to be when they made it in the summer.
A couple of things. Blackpool's 5 draws, 2 of which are against Wycombe, 1's against Charlton, and then 2 of which is against Portsmouth.
Okay.
Portsmouth had 10 men for
Blackpool had 10 men. Jordan Rhodes got sent off.
They did really well. Oxford as well was a good point, where obviously I think it was 1-1 on the day as well, where Oxford just started their good run. And Charlton was the other one. The loss was Stockport, and some good wins in there. It's not like the stat padding against the likes of Burton and Exeter, who they have beaten recent weeks. They've beaten the likes of Barnsley,
beat us.
Bolton, Lincoln City. Then towards the end of the season, where they won 4 on the bounce, where they beat Fleetwood, Cambridge, Carlisle, all in that run as well. So Blackpool were lucky to get in the playoffs last year. What Bruce has done is make them a team that plays football, but also can get through difficult moments. And one thing I'm saying on Fleetwood at the moment, we're just getting League 2'd. We're a good team. We just can't. We're not a good League 2 team yet. We just need to get used to it. And Blackpool had a good manager, had a good squad, but they were a good team for a higher level, like a championship level, a very technical side. Could do it against the better sides because they could play football. But as soon as they played Cambridge away, they'd fold as soon as long balls would come into the box, and they'd have to come up against typical Sunday league-like players. So it's difficult. I agree on the stat about Burton that, look, it's 7 games. They've only lost 3, if you want to look at it that way. They've lost to Lincoln, Blackpool and Barnsley. Come on, that's 3 sides. And then the draws, Mansfield, they conceded in the last minute. They drew away at Rotherham, which is a good point. Drew away at Northampton and drew at home to Stevenage. That's not that bad. They'd expect to beat Mansfield with being up. Probably expect to beat Stevenage and maybe get something more at Northampton. But Crocombe and Sweeney are the main 2. I thought Crocombe's an excellent player. I won't give too much away. It was very interesting to hear Mark Helm speak about Burton Albion last week. And maybe, I don't know, tempting my fate what I think on Burton Albion for this season. I think that they will struggle anyway because a lot of new players, they've got a lot of different recipes there. So it'll be very interesting. Now we'll come to Crawley Bolton next.
Oh, you've missed the game out.
Which one do you want to go to? Do you want to go to Reading first?
You put Reading when we were on FaceTime
We'll
earlier.
go Reading. We'll go Reading
first.
I just got a good start on Bolton, that's all.
That's all right.
I tell you what, Ben Elliott scored last week. That was his 42nd game for Reading. He had to wait 42 games. He's now scored 2 in 2.
Yes.
There you are, Charlie. There's one for you. Reading, since being at this level, have also played 27 league home matches and have accumulated 50 points, winning 15, drawing 5, losing just 7 times. Away from home, they have only won 4 times, drawn 7, lost 15, picking up 19 points. So you're looking at it, a good chunk of their points have come at home. 70% to be precise. Nibs scored 16 goals last year, getting his first goal of the season. And in terms of everything, expected goals, chances created, they are around mid-table. Huddersfield have now lost 6 of their last 7 games in all competitions. I watched them on Tuesday night, and Herbie Kane, with one of the greatest assists I've ever seen, giving it to Kyle Joseph, and then Kyle Joseph giving it out to CJ Hamilton, who slots it past the goalkeeper. Really good run. Reading are now unbeaten in their last 6 against Huddersfield, winning 3, drawing 3. And Huddersfield are a club that needs stability. I couldn't get that word out there. And since their relegation, since the Premiership, Jake, they've had 10 permanent managers, 4 caretakers. They've been relegated twice. They've had 3 owners. They've only won 79 matches out of 226. And there's questions on Duff already. 2 weeks ago, they beat Bolton 4-0. A fortnight's a long time in football, isn't it?
Yeah, massively so. And you sometimes, Ben, you've got to question the minerals of this Huddersfield team, because that's now another game this season, and they've gone away from home, gone 1-0 up, and lost the game 2-1. That the other game of which being away at Rotherham United earlier in the season, which we can all remember.
10 men.
They did have 10 men. The reason they lost yesterday, Ben, is because they benched Lars Sorensen. It's pretty simple. No, it's not, because Reading were very decent. I thought the Huddersfield goal was pretty good. Really good free kick from Evans. Good save from Burton. And Matty Pearson, who's probably not played as much football as he would have wanted. I think Heelick went off injured, didn't he, against Blackpool midweek, and Pearson came on for him. He stepped up to score. He actually, Ben, scored another one later on in the game, which was ruled offside, but I'm not overly sure that it was offside. I think he's onside, and then it should have been 2-2 at that point, and they got a point. But yeah, what you say, Reading worked their way into it. Really good goal from Harvey Nibs. We'll come on to an identical goal to his a little bit later. Great finish, but it's poor defending from a Huddersfield point of view. But yeah, like you say, you've got my stat there about Reading only losing 7 home games since the relegation, winning 15, and they're pretty good on the road. Whereas Huddersfield at the moment, you do worry about. You don't worry about Michael Duff, but you're worried about where the next win might come from. Certainly looking at Tuesday night, you'd imagine they'd find that pretty tough. A trip to St Andrews, following that, a Yorkshire derby against Barnsley. Leighton Orient away is not a tough game. Perhaps they're not looking for another win to maybe the middle of October when they host Bristol Rovers, everyone's favourite speed camera, giving out 3 points to everybody. So, yeah. Yeah, it's a really good win for Reading.
When do you have them?
Bristol Rovers.
Yeah.
I don't actually know. Let me. You
I
talk about that.
Anyway,
no, I don't think it's maybe November, I think.
Middle of November. So I'd love it if they beat you now.
Start of November.
Someone clip it, please. If you are new, we did record a behind the scenes last week, a 23-minute special. So if join below, you can access 21 previous videos and 1 per week. We actually did record, and it's due to go up this week, of behind the scenes episodes of the podcast where I interviewed Danny Moore and Mark Helm. and how I prepared for that. So it's a 10-minute video of that one. So if you fancy joining down below, join us a member. We've got 61 members currently. So if you fancy helping me out, that'd be greatly appreciated. Crawley Town against Bolton. Bolton Wanderers record back-to-back victories for the second time this season. Previously, they did that away at Reading when they won 5-2 and then went away at Bristol Rovers and won 2-0, where Bristol Rovers speed cameras wasn't in action that day because they gave out 3 points. At this time, they beat Reading 5-2 at home and then went away at Crawley and won by the exact same scoreline of 2-0. That time they went 7 games unbeaten. They then went to draw their next 2 with draws against Shrewsbury and Portsmouth at home, and then led into the playoffs with that final victory coming away at Barnsley, losing to Barnsley in the second leg, but going through and losing to Oxford. What happened the last time, Jake, that Crawley played Bolton? Can you tell me?
At Crawley?
Yep. The last time they played each other.
It was in League 2.
Yeah.
Bolton won 4-1 at Crawley.
Yeah,
and they got promoted.
Yeah. How many players from that team played yesterday in the whole 22 players?
Or in the Bolton team yesterday?
And the Crawley team yesterday. Don't have a look.
Oh, I wouldn't massively know. Bolton.
Have a guess. How many players?
4.
1. George Thomason, the only one. Gethin Jones. And Santos, sorry, 2. Santos as well. Gethin Jones as well was on the bench. He's still at the football club. So Santos and
so 3.
Thomason. Yeah, Santos played. Thomason and Gethin Jones was on the bench. So 2. What the one that played yesterday?
Oh, I guess 4. And you made me look like a right mug. I wasn't actually far off.
Crawley, no players in their 18. Well, I think they only listed 17 players that day.
I'm not surprised by that.
So a huge turnover. Talk to me about the game, and then we'll go on to Scott Lindsay.
Yeah, I've got a good piece on who I think they should look to appoint after. I thought
he was on the bench last time, though. That's what I mean. The last time he played, he was on the bench.
I thought it was another game that Crawley are in. A lot of people would have automatically just assumed that Crawley, this is a game where they wouldn't be in. I actually thought they were in. They had a couple of chances, maybe not that were worthy of a highlight, but certainly in terms of territory, they certainly half chances. I thought they were certainly in this game. Bolton just their quality sort of shone through really, and the player I'm going to pick out is Shon at wing back. He was fantastic for that second goal. His turn of pace, the ball into Collins, who finds John McAtee for his first goal in a Bolton shirt. That goal, Ben, I don't know if you've seen all the goals from League One this week. McAtee's goal and Harvey Nibbs' goal were pretty identical in terms of the finish and where it ended up in the net. Like you said, back-to-back league wins for the first time this season. Carl Dempsey's 13th goal for Bolton. He also did hit the crossbar in that, but yeah, I thought Bolton were good value. Perhaps it could have finished 2-1 if Crawley had taken one of the chances, but no complaints here. I thought Bolton were excellent, and hopefully that's just the start of this Bolton team sort of climbing up the table, because we've criticised them, Ben, and rightly so, over the last sort of 4 or 5 weeks for their dodgy performances, whereas yesterday seemed like an Ian Evatt steady performance. Go there, win comfortably, get home.
They've got Northampton, Shrewsbury, in the coming weeks as well. That's a great win for them because they didn't have a lot of the ball. Their expected goals haven't been where they wanted to. They still feel a little bit away. It feels like when you're with a girl and the relationship's slowly breaking down and you've addressed the issues and you're kind of on tenterhooks a little bit,
what
and
on earth are we
making a wrong move, and it feels like
you got experience in making wrong moves.
It feels like Bolton are being on the best behaviour at the moment, because at any moment, one mistake and it could be the end for Ian Evatt. It feels very much like that. So it feels like they've got to pretty much be perfect for the next few weeks, and then a mistake can maybe come in to kind of forget about this blinker form as well. And you've got to remember that Ian Evatt's had bad patches at Bolton Wanderers manager. He's had probably 4 or 5, if we're being honest about it. look, he went through a bad patch where he lost 3 out of 4. It's going to happen in a season. I said you're going to lose back-to-back games in a season. You're going to do things. You just might do it at the start of the season. And look at Huddersfield, started the season on fire, and now we're just, not doing too well. So for Crawley, you look at it now. They conceded 9 in the last 5. They've got Mansfield and Wycombe to come. Scott Lindsay left the football club earlier this week. After a roller coaster, he joined Maguire and Kelly at MK Dons, a side that he beat, 8-1 in aggregate just 4 months ago. What do you think?
What do I think in terms of where, for Scott Lindsay, it's the right move. He knows some of the players. It's a bigger stadium. It's a better budget, probably. Yes, they're a division below, but Milton Keynes probably have bigger potential in that heart. That really hurts me to say, because I do like Crawley and obviously MK are a little bit of a franchise. But for Scott Lindsay, it just seemed like the right move. I think he's going to do really well at MK Dons. I know they only drew yesterday, but I think his attacking philosophy really suits the squad that Mike Williamson put together. And speaking of former Gateshead or current Gateshead managers, I think Crawley should go in for Rob Elliott, Ben, from Gateshead. Actually, he's the bookies' favourite at the moment, shorter than evens to get the job. Guided Gateshead to 6th in the National League last season. They're 5th in the National League this year, and we know that they can get promoted this season. The council have allowed them to be able to do so if they finish there. But he's got a 52% win record, Ben, for Gateshead. He's managed them 42 times. They've won 22. He's only lost 13 games as a manager. I think he'd be a really good fit. Plays a nice, attractive brand of football with Gateshead. I know it's a jump up, but Crawley have got previous from recruiting from non-league. So it's one that I could see happening. It'd be a real shame for Gateshead to have 2 managers poached from them. But I think for Rob Elliott, it's a step up. And for Crawley, they get a good young coach who wants to make waves in the game. And I think Rob Elliott certainly is the next one off the Gateshead conveyor belt.
I'd even have a look at Ben Gladwin. Now, promote from within. Every game, Crawley have dominated possession. Every game that Crawley have been in the game, they've looked their old selves. They're still having authority on the game. They're still looking like they're creating chances. They might not create enough. They're conceding too many goals first off as well. I do feel they could do with a figure outside the club as well, but I could see the reason why they went for a Ben Gladwin. I just feel they need some defensive stability. I don't think they need, I don't want to say dinosaur. I don't feel they need, a manager just to keep them up. They need something where they carry on the footballing philosophy, because that's their unbelievable achievement of going up was the style of football they played and the players that they lost. So, one question, yes or no? If Crawley would have had the squad they would have had this year, do you think he would have stayed? Yes or no?
Do you mean if he'd had the squad?
If no one left, if the key players wouldn't have left,
he wouldn't have left. He wouldn't have left.
Yeah. All right, agree. I think that he thought, right, this is my opportunity to get out.
He's had it swept from underneath him, hasn't he?
Northampton 0 and Mansfield 2. Mansfield have now won their last 3 matches, all by the scoreline of 2-1 against Cambridge, Shrewsbury, and Northampton. Now, me and you had a debate about this before. Northampton are 5th in the division. They are overachieving the level on points with
Northampton are 5th in the division.
Mansfield are level on points with you, right? And you had an argument because if it was Stockport County, you wouldn't have argued with me, but because it's Mansfield, you had an argument with me. Because
a local affair, Ben. I can't help it.
Local affair, yeah, exactly. You know all about them, don't you? Second word, especially. But you had an argument. Look who they played. They're not expected to finish 5th. If they finish 5th from bottom or above that, they're happy with that. My argument back was I thought Mansfield would finish in the bottom 8 to the bottom 10. And if they finish, it's a good season for them for the first season at this level. Of course, you have aspirations because of the players that they've got to finish higher up and the experience you've got. But to beat Cambridge, Shrewsbury, and Northampton, they're 3 names when you say Mansfield. Who do you think you can finish above? There are 3 names that you would list. Then you would say the likes of Crawley. Then you think, right, who else then can we go and creep above? Because then we've stayed up. But it's good that they've won and they've nicked it by 2-1, but they're playing well in terms of other
They won 2-0, not 2-1.
2-0. Well, they've scored 2 goals in every game, and there you are. But first clean sheet of the season.
Cheers,
first clean sheet for Mansfield of the season as well. 14 points, 2 points a game. You know what happens when you average 2 points per game as well.
Yeah.
Mansfield, highest expected goals yesterday in League One, 3.2. Northampton got the fourth highest expected goals yesterday as well on 1.7. Will Evans scored his second goal of the season. 16 and 25 for him last year. Aaron Lewis scores 2 and 2. He only got 2 last year. Good player when he played for Newport in 22-23. He got a goal and 7 assists that year.
Good player for us.
For Northampton, no winning 3 in League One. Lost the last 2 games. Lost 7 at home last year. They've already lost 2 now at home this year. Northampton conceded, the third highest expected goals in this division this year. Is that a worry for you for a side that were very consistent last year?
Yeah, well, I think, and I know Cobblers fans probably won't agree with me, but I think they lost the best defender in Sam Sherring. He was a real ball-playing defender that massively helped with John Brady's style of play, I think. And you look at who they've replaced him with, there's not particularly anyone that stands out. So I would be worried as a Northampton fan. They are conceding a lot of chances, and like you said, they've certainly lost a couple. I know that you got the winner Huddersfield was sort of paper over the cracks a little bit, but yeah, yesterday, I bar the penalty, Ben, and a couple of Christy Pym saves, I didn't think Northampton were fantastic. On the other hand, Mansfield were fantastic. They took the chances when they came. Lee Gregory probably could have scored as well. He hit the post. That was unfortunate. But I don't know how much you put into these things, Ben, but Northampton have only beaten Mansfield once in the last 6. Mansfield have won 4 of those. I don't know how much, but bogey teams and such. So I don't know how much evidence or weight you put behind that, but clearly there's a bit of an issue with Northampton trying to beat Mansfield. It cropped up again yesterday, but great win for Mansfield. Like you say, 2 points a game. They're up in the playoffs. They'll be happy with that. And why I said we had a phone call earlier, didn't I? I said, look at the games that they've had. It's been a pretty favourable run of fixtures in terms of being that lofty in the league. But you came back and said, well, if they want to finish where they want to finish, which is staying up, those are the teams they need to beat. So, I think Mansfield will still be in that area of the table, which we all think they will be. They've just had a better start because they've maybe played a couple of the worst teams. When they have a run against some of the better teams, we might see them slip down a little bit, slide away.
Yeah, I agree with that. Bristol Rovers 1, Wycombe 2, a defeat that signals Matty Taylor's 20th defeat in the league out of 36 League One matches. I think that he could be the next one on the list to get fired.
Oh, Bristol Rovers are off again, look. Everyone's favourite speed camera.
Funny. Bristol Rovers didn't have a shot on target in that second half. Embarrassing.
Me or Bristol Rovers? Bristol Rovers, I hope. Yeah.
Both. Yeah. Bristol Rovers at home, embarrassing. Absolute. I think they've lost 12 now at the last 27, 28 games at home. And it's a side that Bristol Rovers, that if they want to go to the next level, their fans at home are, in my eyes, one of the best in the division when it gets going. Good night, Irene. The fans behind the goal, the terrace. Feels a proper hard place to go. Now it's not. They're soft. They don't look like they're playing for the manager. They look bored. They look like the shackles are in as well. 4 losses on the row. Conceded 11 in that time as well. 5 losses in 6 going back to Stockport away. 18th in terms of expected goals on 7.3. Yet they've conceded the highest expected goals in 15.2. So for every goal that they're pretty much creating, they're conceding 2.1 compared to that, which, Charlton at home, Burton away, coming up before Blackpool at home, which is going to probably get called off for internationals. But they're playing a Wycombe side that I think are the most underrated team in this division. I don't think anyone's mentioned Wycombe to do anything special this year. That in 7 games, they scored 2 in every game. 14 goals, which is unbelievable. 8 different goal scorers as well. Lowe got the winner. He scored the first goal against them last year at the other end.
Ex-Bristol City lad.
Yeah, ex-Bristol City lad. He scored 5 goals for Wycombe. 2 of which against Leyton Orient, 2 of which against Bristol Rovers. Wycombe, have won 10 of the 18 meetings with Bristol Rovers previously as well. So you mentioned that about Mansfield 4 and 6. It just shows you, some teams have good power over. Our Fleetwood used to have great, power over Oxford. I think it took 14 meetings for Oxford to beat Fleetwood. And I think we've not won since. Wycombe are a really good team. When you've got Aaron Morley with 2 assists yesterday, you've got Scowen, you've got Humphreys just in front. Yeah, looks nothing like him. And then you've got the likes of McCleary, Coney up there as well. This Wycombe side under Bloomfield. 2 years ago, the amount of hatred he was getting, he's turned the philosophy, he's turned the football around, and now he's turned the identity of the football club around.
Yeah, I wanted to look at the at Matt Taylor's record since he took over Bristol Rovers, but then look at it in terms of at the Mem as well. His overall record for a Bristol Rovers manager is played 36, won 12, drawn 4, lost 20, and at the Mem played 19, won 7, drawn 2, lost 10. Tells you pretty much everything you need to know about Matt Taylor. And there's a lot of toxicity around him at the moment and whether he's the right man to take Bristol Rovers forward. I think the fact that they've recruited so favourably for him and his system this summer, and they spent a lot of money, certainly on Promise on a Cherry, etc. I think they're going to have to stick and back him. For me, I think they've got no other choice to give him time. Scott Sinclair's now scored in 14 of his last 16 seasons in British football, which was good for him to get off the mark yesterday. And then for Wycombe, just completely switched it on, like you mentioned. Joe Lowe, I think Dan Harvey's goal probably is up there for one a goal of the day. An absolute postage stamp, as the commentator said. It was a fantastic finish. Wycombe only lost one of the last 10 away games, winning 6. They've beaten Bristol Rovers 7 times in the last 8, and in the last 6, they've won all of them. And Bristol Rovers have conceded 2 goals in each of them. If they do the double over Bristol Rovers this year, that's the 3rd consecutive season they've done a double over Bristol Rovers. So certainly think there's a lot of boginess around Wycombe for Bristol Rovers. And Ben did warn us last week, didn't he, about that? But yeah, great win for Wycombe. I completely agree with you. They were so underrated. I think they're a real dark horse for the playoffs as we stand. And under Matt Bloomfield, they seem to be getting better. It took a while for him to get his style of play involved, but yeah, certainly they look like a well-oiled machine now.
If you could like below, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe, and thank you for helping me get into the Football Content Awards final. Live at Spurs, quite ironic, trophies and Spurs, isn't it, to be fair? Wow. It's like putting me in a room with, females, isn't it? Like, it just doesn't go together, does it? So if you could vote for us, Football Content Awards, best podcast. Do I have a podcast? Is this a podcast?
You have a podcast. You're part of a podcast.
The Codcast, yeah. And then, I'm not part of that. It's not that podcast. It's not up for it, is it?
No, it's not. Shockingly.
It would be if the actual episodes went up on time, but yeah. And then Best Content Creator Football League. So if you could vote for us, that'd be great.
He's got to win it.
Well,
vote for him.
Cambridge United have lost 6 of their 7 matches and are currently on course for 6.52 points per game. They have only point came with a 4-4 draw with Blackpool. Lavery is now out for a further month. He was out for 6 weeks to start off with. I'll leave that last little stat because I know you've got that in now. Lincoln, I've currently got the best away record in the division and winning 3, drawing 1. Freddie Draper's 3rd goal in the league for the football club. Callum Archery with his 1st goal for the football club. Cambridge currently have the lowest expected goals in the 5th lowest expected goals in the division. In terms of all the other stats, conceded 11th, highest. They're not in the key metrics. They are doing okay. It's just the squad looks so poor. It's unbelievable. They've won 2 out of 20 under the manager there. They've got Rotherham and Exeter coming up, which is awful, which is an awful run, really. He's won 2, drew 5, lost 13. It's poor. You come up against a Lincoln side that yesterday, since being in League One, have now won 38 League One away games. They've won 13 in the season where they did really well and got to, the playoffs. Then 7, 7, 10, and 3 so far. Talk to me.
Yeah, actually, I've got a stat on Cambridge, Ben, before we get started. And this is a bit of a question for you to see if you can get it. Cambridge are now on the joint longest winless run in the EFL with, any idea? One other club in the EFL. So there's one club in the EFL that are also 13 without a win.
Ooh,
who are they?
Accrington.
No. You're in the right part of the country. Morecambe. Yeah, Cambridge and Morecambe, both 13 without a win.
Far off.
Well, I don't know about that, but
you sure Morecambe won on the last day of last season?
It was on the EFL website, mate. Cambridge, yeah, joint longest winless run in the EFL with Morecambe. That's what it says. I don't think they did win the last game of last season.
You won away at Swindon.
Did they? Anyway.
I they did. I'm having a look at this. No, they drew 3-3. 3-3, yeah. Sorry, yeah, you're right.
Thanks.
I was wrong.
You're right. Yes. So yesterday, Lincoln beat a club record, smashed it out of the park. That's now 13 games in a row on the road that they've been unbeaten. And in that run, a draw away at Wycombe, a win away at Burton, a draw away at Charlton, wins against Port Vale, Barnsley and Carlisle, draw with Reading, a win over Oxford and Cheltenham, another win over Burton, Stevenage, a posh draw, and a win at Cambridge. That record's been in place since 1980, Ben, which tells you everything. But yeah, yesterday I thought we were really good.
Oh, he's on mute. Oh, he's breaking up. Oh,
yeah.
I can't hear him. Oh, he's gone. Right. Anyway, we'll move on. We'll come back to it. Stevenage won.
Hey, stop it. Stop it.
I've been dreading this. Here we go.
I think yesterday. And there's a lot of Lincoln fans that are in the chat and ones that were there yesterday. Probably could have been 4-0 up at half time, and that's not being over dramatic or exaggerating. Jovan Makama has 2 opportunities which he absolutely should score. I'm really pleased with the progress that Jovan's made to get into those positions as easily as he did. But he just needs to add that finishing. And when he does add that finishing, he's going to be one hell of a League One centre forward. And I know a lot of Lincoln fans gave him a lot of stick last year. But Ben House went off yesterday after about 20 seconds of looks like a broken nose. But Freddie Draper came on, took his goal really well. And then Bailey Calamatri, I think he took a bit of time to get used to being in a Lincoln shirt. But yesterday he played really well, came on, was strong, physical. The goal is a fantastic touch on the chest and a lovely finish over Reyes, who I believe has just been called up to the Chile squad for the senior Chile squad for the first time. So congratulations to him, I suppose. But yeah, Lincoln should have won a lot more than
Chile before, weren't you?
Hey? I was a little bit, yes. Well, I've got my hoodie here, mate. Yeah.
Oh, you disgust me. What an awful word that is. That is the worst word since I've heard since Campbell.
Elijah. But yeah, no, I thought we were excellent yesterday. Deservedly won again. How many times have I got to say it? Ethan Arahan in midfield, just fantastic. Just so good. Such a good player. Wins the ball back. But yeah, look, a really good win. Up to 3rd in the table. I know we're only 7 games in, and we've not lost on the road since New Year's Day at Blackpool. And where do we go on Tuesday? Blackpool. So I'm worried that football's going to go full circle on me there. But yeah, still really happy. Really good start to the season. 2 points a game. We're in and amongst it, and that's where I expected us to be. So good performance. Lots of positives. We move on to Blackpool and Leyton Orient this week.
Lincoln, 4th lowest expected goals against in the division. However, they've got currently the lowest amount of possession in the league and the lowest amount of passes per game in League One, but effective with the ball. I still don't think I've seen a 10 out of 10 Lincoln performance yet. I don't think I've seen Lincoln at the
Under
best.
what, this season or just under Scabala?
This season. No, under
Okay,
Scabala, he had 10 out of 10 performance for about 4 weeks in a row. Yeah, how can you say he scored 11 goals in 2 games?
We scored 16 in 3.
Yeah, I was going to use cuss word sake then. But, you know, I mean, like, come on. I can't see that. I mean, like, I'll take more times than David Harrington, for God's sake. But good win. You know, you're getting there. Stevenage next. Back-to-back losses for Charlton. Now, I'll go back to my point. Charlton are one of the worst teams to watch in the whole EFL, right? And this is when they were winning. Now, my issue with Charlton is, if they'd have won that game 1-0, it's all, Gaffer, up the Nathan Jones. Yeah, we won 1-0. Get in, what a performance. Great defensively, so strong. You know, brilliant. Go on the boys. We're going up. We're going all the way. All of a sudden, you lose 1-0, and the games are flipping in the reverse of what they were 3 or 4 weeks ago. Questions will start to get asked. They weren't being asked yesterday. It could be stupid. Losing back-to-back games for the first time under Nathan Jones as well. But in terms of statistics, 17th in terms of goals, 17th in terms of possession, 17th in terms of expected goals, 23rd in terms of shots on target. I see it all the time with Tranmere at this level, and it's not sustainable. It isn't. They've got a good side there, but they're relying on their defence far too much for me. I want to see more from their attacking outputs. They've got good attacking players. Nathan Jones is a decent manager. It's disappointing to see them in this light a little bit. Look, if they go and win 1-0 regularly, they'll be all right. But I still think they've improved, but I don't think they've improved enough to go to the next level. That's just my opinion. You know, Stevenage won 10 games at home last year. They've already won 3 out of 4 this year. Stevenage a good side. Roberts, you know, getting the goal. He only got 5 goals last year, 5 assists.
Great 1-2, wasn't it? With him and Jamie Reid.
Yeah. 2 draws last season with these 2 fixtures. 1-1 and 0-0. Good win for them. Stevenage are slowly but surely getting there, but a bit inconsistent.
Charlton have never won a league game at Stevenage. Tells you everything you need to know, really, doesn't it? Admittedly, they've only been there 3 times, I think. But yeah, no, I agree with you. Charlton, we sort of said this was going to be so unsustainable. Nathan Jones, and I want to get your opinion, Ben, on what Nathan Jones said earlier in the week, actually. But an XG of 0.16, really poor from a Charlton team that everyone sort of ranting and raving about and saying, yeah, definitely going to finish in the top 6, absolutely. So reliant on that defence. Yeah, but in terms of Jordan Roberts, Jamie Reid, that's both of their first goal involvements in 24-25 for Stevenage. Last year, Reid got 18 goals, 2 assists. Roberts 5 goals, 5 assists. So both getting on the sheet for the first time this season. I know Reid spent a long time out injured. But yeah, I just thought Stevenage they were pretty good. Not a lot to say. Steady, solid defensively. Didn't get caused a lot of issues by Charlton, whether that's their tepid attack or Stevenage's really good defence. We know how good Stevenage defence has been. It's been there for the last sort of 18 months or so. What I wanted to ask you about, Ben, was the comments from Nathan Jones before this game. Obviously, the Cardiff job is open now. They bit the bullet. And Nathan Jones is a Cardiff boy, and there will be speculation about it because he spoke openly and said, one day I would love to manage Cardiff City. I know a lot that was taken out of context because in the next breath he said, but I have a job at Charlton. I have a project that I want to achieve. I want to achieve promotion here. What did you make of his comments? Because if I was a Charlton fan and I heard him not twerking for another job, but certainly not ruling himself out of the Cardiff job running at this moment, how would you feel as a Charlton fan? Because I'm pretty annoyed.
Richie Wellens did the same thing 3 weeks ago. Managers do it. If realistically, say if Charlton lose their next 5 matches, 29th of October, Nathan Jones could be out of work. You know, football waits for no one, and especially with the style that Charlton play. I will say this: I like Charlton as a football club. If you play that style of football, if you play low possession, don't create much, you've got to win games of football. You cannot not win playing that way. It's either you win, you learn from it, and you adapt, or you have to adapt and play better football and create more chances and be a bit more open. And I think that he is a supporter of that football club. And look, if in any role of life, if your current job, paying you well, all of a sudden you got offered to go to Lincoln City, you'd have to think openly and heartedly, would you want to do it? And you would, you would be tempted by it. You don't want to. You're in two minds of what to say in a way where you're like, I don't want to say I want it, but then you don't say I don't want it. It's a bit like acting like, what do you want for Christmas? And it's like, oh, you don't have to get me anything. And then no. Oh,
I'd really like a PlayStation 5 with a new FIFA on it.
Yeah, but I'm saving up at the moment for a new house. I'm just my deposit short, and then the monthly payment short.
I'm just 25 grand short. I'm saving up.
Yeah, it feels like that. If you understand me, it feels like he's trying not to ask for it, and you're put under certain difficult circumstances where you have to answer it.
We best get a move on because we've only done 8 games and we're already been.
Yeah, mate, we'll get there. We've got nothing out. We've got no. Don't worry about it. But
to play, mate.
Yeah, it's difficult. Barnsley won, Stockport won. A game that had everything. A late goal. Adam Phillips' 5th goal of the season. Currently got the most goal contributions in the division. 26 goals, 17 assists in his last 102 games now for him. Barnsley 3 unbeaten at home, winning 1, drawing 2. Josh Earl on 4 yellow cards, 1 away from a booking. Surprise, surprise. Hey, Josh, love you still. Louis Barry, top goal scorer in the division. Level with Phillips, Poku and Gregory. Barnsley have got Wycombe and Huddersfield to come. Stockport have got Shrewsbury and Wigan to come as well. Stockport 4 without a win, drawing 3 all away and losing 1 at home to Leyton Orient. Barnsley, their home record is poor. They've only won 10 of the last 27. How many have Lincoln won out of their last 26 at home, Jake?
Oh, not many. How many Barnsley won? 10?
10.
Oh, I'd be surprised. In our last 27?
Yeah.
I bet it's the same.
11. There you are.
Oh,
Wigan have won 14 and Bolton have won 16 for comparison. Talk to me on this game.
Game of 2 halves, Ben, really, for me. I was able to get home from Cambridge in time to watch it. I thought Barnsley were good in the first half, caused a lot of issues. The penalty, there's a contentious penalty in another game we can talk about, but in this game, for me, definite penalty for Barnsley. Stuck away nicely by Phillips. But Barnsley, what they have done in home games gone, and they did it against Northampton earlier this season, they just sit back. Barnsley, they go 1-0 up or they go 2-1 up, whatever, and they sit back. Whether it's, and I think we've spoken about this, we did speak about this, Ben, after Fleetwood on Monday night, didn't we? About getting in front at home and just sitting back, just literally just. It's a British mentality thing because as soon as we want to just protect a lead and we want to protect everything, and Fleetwood did the same on Monday, and the same thing happened to Fleetwood. We need to realise, and clubs need to wisen up to the fact that you need to stop that mentality because it's going to cause you problems and Stockport pile the pressure on, and they deservedly got their equaliser. They had countless opportunities. Fiorini came on, Jack Diamond came on, Fevrier came on and caused some real issues for them. And ultimately, it was a deflected shot. I mean, you can say it's a lucky one for Stockport, but they invited it on themselves for me. And that's Louis Barry's, Ben, 19th goal involvement for Stockport in 30 games, which is a pretty insane record. So, yeah, I thought the score was right. Barnsley the better of the first half, Stockport the better of the second half. And ultimately, and I know Barnsley fans are saying that I've got, yeah, that's a bit harsh, Charlie. Leave it out, Charlie. Yeah, I think Barnsley got what they deserved. A point. I don't think either team deserved to win it, and Stockport deservedly got their equaliser.
Yeah, agree with you there. Tell you what, you started off with our next game, Shrewsbury, Rotherham.
Oh, yes. It
wasn't a great game, was it?
I don't know. Depends who you're asking.
Man like Feeney got a star. Go on, the boy.
Exactly. Yeah, your one of your mates got to start. The one that doesn't know who you are, but I'm sure you know him. Yeah.
We just what?
He doesn't know who I am. Josh, please, Josh.
No. We're not having this. Hang on a minute.
I'll carry on.
Josh Feen, it will be embarrassing now. Right, look. Yeah, he does. I'm safe. There you are. Look at that. Have that.
Didn't you said to me a few weeks ago that you probably wouldn't know who you are if you spoke to him?
I never said that. He wants to come on the podcast.
Does he?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to talk about Shrewsbury Rotherham, if that's okay with you, Ben. We highlighted Tommy O'Reilly as someone as a real big impact for Shrewsbury this year. I actually think Leo Castledine is going to be a much brighter star for them. You look at the goal, the first goal certainly in this game. Castledine, a great run down the right-hand side to find Mal Benning, who crosses for Lloyd George. It's his first goal for Shrewsbury. 23rd career goal in 198 games for George Lloyd. That is one goal every 8.3 games, which gives you roughly about 5 a season. And if that's your starting number 9 in League One, I would be quite concerned, like we rightly are. So for Shrewsbury, again, Leo Castledine is just so crucial to the way Shrewsbury move forward in that number 10. So such a low centre of gravity. He's a really tidy player, and certainly someone that I could see playing at the top end of this league, perhaps post-January. The penalty for Rotherham, Ben, is the talking point. I'd like to hear your thoughts shortly after. For me, I can see I can see why the referee's given it, because both of their foots are high, and Mal Benning does catch Jamie McCart. And I think if I'm the referee in that decision, I give a penalty. Paul Hurst sort of says it's in a really grey area because McCart's foot is also high and the contact's not great. It's not enough really to knock him off his feet. I thought, you know what? I've heard the Shrewsbury take on it. I'll listen to Steve Evans talk about it. Any ideas what Steve Evans said about it?
Definitely not a penalty. Oh, sorry, definitely penalty. Unbelievable. It should be done for manslaughter.
Clear pen, dangerous tackle. He's surprised that the player's still on the pitch. And I thought, Steve Evans...
What would he say if it was against him?
He'd have gone, I can't do a Stephen. He'd have gone, that's never a penalty. Never a penalty. It's the softest penalty you'll see in years. So, yeah, I just thought that was interesting. It allowed JCH, Johnson Clark Harris, to score his 3rd league goal of the season. But to be honest, it was a bit of a... 2 of them are pens. The other one coming in, I went against Huddersfield Town a couple of weeks ago. But
that was a pen as well.
Yeah, I said 2 pens. And the other one was a penalty against Huddersfield Town.
All right, boy. All right, calm down. Get off your high horse.
Thanks. It wasn't a game that you could get invested in unless you supported one of the 2 teams. But yeah, what was your take on the penalty, Ben? Did you think it was a pen for Rotherham?
There's an attempt to play the ball. I can see why it's given, but I think it's soft.
Yeah.
4 points at home for Shrewsbury now. All 4 points that they've got have come at home, 3 against Orient. And it's difficult because in the full lot, there was a shot on target for each club. In one for Shrewsbury the first half, one for Rotherham in the second half. Both goals went in. It looked like 2 relegation teams bound to happen. That is 40 matches now. Rotherham have failed to win away from home.
Yeah,
that is just absolute tragic, isn't it? Who've they got on there Tuesday?
Oh, they've got Cambridge United. I was speaking to Jack Swindlehurst earlier from under the Abbey stand, and he said to me, well, you know, Rotherham are a team that haven't won away in over nearly 700 days. You know what's just going to happen. Just with Cambridge won it.
The expected goals from Shrewsbury in the second half was 0.00. I do feel Paulo slightly gets away with it. If it was Matty Taylor, then he'd be absolutely crucified.
Jesus. You won't have an edge.
6 wins, 6 draws, 16 defeats for Paul Hurst since he come back in, taking 24 points from a possible 28 matches. Steve Evans has won 1 in 8, no wins in 4. Slightly worrying for them because they're not improving, and it feels like there's not a great atmosphere around the club at the moment, and Steve Evans isn't helping towards that. Leighton Orient, Wrexham 0-0. We'll come to that first. 0-0s are very hard to kind of judge. Wrexham had a couple of good chances. Leighton Orient had a couple
had the big chance. Leighton Orient.
Yeah, had the biggest
Cooper.
chance in the match. However,
how's he missed?
A point gain for Orient overall. Look, they played Peterborough and Wrexham at home in space of the week and got the first points at home. Went away at Stockport and Reading. They'd have taken 8 points from 4 games. Much better now the season started. Commas. Wrexham have gone away, got a good point. Builds for them, another clean sheet, and good point all around.
Yeah, game of 2 halves. Orient had the better of it in the first half. Charlie Kelman could probably notch one in, but Brandon Cooper, I don't know how he's missed it. I thought, you know what? I imagine Brandon Cooper's chance will be pretty much all of Orient's 1.33 XG. It was only 0.44, and I'm surprised. It's like the miss of the season. I don't know how he's not scored. The Wrexham commentators were there celebrating after Okonkwo. What a great save! What a great save! Brandon Cooper's actually hit it at him. I don't think it's not a fantastic save. Paul Mullin should probably score in the second half. He reacts a little bit too slowly, but that's a second 0-0 draw away from home in 4 away games. The other one being obviously away at Bolton. Stevenage away and Northampton at home to come for Wrexham this week. So we're probably expecting some good results for Wrexham. But yeah, 2 teams that I think are probably about equally matched. And Orient are a really good side. I'm looking forward to seeing how they've evolved next on Saturday.
Now, 0-0. I went through some statistics. There was a team in Finland that drew 4 times 0-0 in 2017. George Graham, when he was at Arsenal, drew 4 league games 0-0. And they were basically saying, focus on the defence rather than the attack. Wigan have now drawn 3 of their last, obviously 3 games, keeping 3 clean sheets, 4 clean sheets on the bounce. And against Bristol Rovers, realistically, their 4 goals came from Bristol Rovers going, there you are, lads. You know.
And there has been a team in the EFL to draw 0-0 3 times in a row. Do you know who it is?
Go on.
You should know this.
I don't know, mate. Tell me.
I think it's not... no, go on.
It's us.
No, it's not you.
Lincoln.
You're not geographically. Blackpool. You're not miles away. Blackpool did it last season. I thought when I saw it. Yeah, I thought it was going to be this really rare occurrence where a team's never drawn 0-0 3 times in a row, but they drew 0-0 in August 2023 against Exeter, Port Vale, and Leighton Orient. And I was like, what? I was like, let me just go and check that.
I don't remember that.
And it was right. Yeah, it was 3 games back to back at the start of last season. Blackpool drew 0-0 3 times.
The Wigan play not to lose, and it's like Scott Brown ball, Critchley ball. It's like, just get a grip on it. And look, they've got some attacking intent. They've just not got enough. They're very bland. Got good defenders. I just don't think they've got enough in attack at all. And look, they created a bit yesterday, but I think in the last 2 games prior, they expected goals combination of 0.3 yesterday over a goal. Probably, had the better chances, but
it was their highest XG, Ben, since their 2-0 win over Carlisle on the 29th of December 2023. It's their highest XG in a home game in 2024.
Oh, I'm about to say
1.6.
Well, they had 3.9 against bloody Bristol Rovers away. So it can't be this. What do you mean home? You never said home game to specify.
I did say home. Go and watch it back. I did say home. But
you didn't say home first. You said home second.
Out of the 3 0-0s that they've just had, by far the best performance. Dale Taylor had a couple of really good opportunities. Dale Taylor probably should won, but he scored. Joe Whitworth made a really good save to his left. But two teams that cancelled each other out. I think it was the heritage game for both of them. I think it's something to do with the clubs being friends. Barry told me about it the other week when we played Wigan. But 0-0, not a lot to say really. Probably a better performance for Wigan than it was for Exeter.
Yeah, agree with you there. Right, I think we're all done. Please get some questions in below. Last 5 minutes of the show.
Wait.
Like the show, if you haven't already, what? Go on.
Predictions, bruv.
Yeah, we'll come to that in a minute.
Okay. Right.
Please like, please subscribe. Get your question in down below. Go on, let's go predictions.
Yeah. Okay.
Do not ever call me bruv ever again. That made me physically sick.
So midweek, 3 games. Ben, we both scored none. So we had a pretty good midweek. And then last week, so this weekend, yesterday, you took home 8 points, getting the correct scores for Cambridge Lincoln and also for Crawley Bolton. So you predicted 2-0 away wins and you got them spot on. I got 11 points, shut the gap down by 3. I got the Blackpool Burton score bang on. I also got another one. I also got the Barnsley Stockport score right. So we're getting there. And you got to remember, Ben, we've got 24 games to predict tonight. So we need to crack on.
I go first for Tuesday. You go first for...
No, I'm first for Tuesday. You're first for Saturday. Yeah, you did the Saturday. You did these Saturday ones first.
Right, fair enough.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. You naughty schoolboy. Right. I've already put mine in, so I already know what I'm going for. So it's completely down to you here. So Barnsley versus Wycombe, I've gone for a 1-0 Barnsley win.
2-1 Barnsley.
2-1 Barnsley. Stevenage Wrexham, I've gone 2-1 away win.
What's the game? Sorry.
Jack Ward at his finest. Stevenage Wrexham, mate.
1-0 Wrexham.
Wigan Peterborough, I've gone Desmond, 2 apiece. I think Wigan are actually going to score.
2-1 Wigan. Wigan beat Peterborough last year Tuesday night, I think.
They did. Shrewsbury Stockport, I've gone 2-1 to Stockport.
So again, I'm reading comments.
Shrewsbury Stockport, I've gone 2-1 to Stockport.
2-0 Stockport.
Northampton Bolton, I've gone 3-1 Bolton.
You can get down below as well. Bolton will win 1-0. Santos will score.
Orient Exeter, I've gone 2-0 to the O's.
1 each.
Crawley Mansfield, I've gone 2-1 Crawley.
Who they play? Mansfield.
Yeah. Got to win a game at some point.
1 each.
Local affair for Ben. Blackpool taking on Lincoln City. I've gone 1 each.
2-0 Blackpool.
Cambridge Rotherham. I've gone Cambridge 0, Rotherham 1. Finally getting a away win for the Millers.
3-0 Rotherham.
Bristol Rovers, everyone's favourite speed camera against Charlton. I've gone 1 each. Only the 1 point for Charlton this week.
2-1 Bristol Rovers.
Birmingham Huddersfield at St Andrews. I've gone 3-1 Blues.
2-0 Birmingham.
And then Reading Burton to round us up for Tuesday. I've gone 2-0 Reading.
2-1 Ding.
Okay, right. This is you first, Ben.
Royals. Sorry.
Right, you can tell it's getting late. Right, Ben, this is you first. Peterborough Stevenage, early kickoff on Saturday.
2-0 Peterborough.
You swine. I'm going to go 2-1 Peterborough.
This was a Sky game last year, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Huddersfield Barnsley at the John Smiths.
2-1 Town.
You've done it again. I'm going to go 2-0 Huddersfield. Mansfield Blackpool at Field Mill. If you make it 3 from 3, I'm gonna walk
1-1
to your house. Eh?
1-1.
1-1?
Yeah.
Right. I'm off. I'm coming. For God's sake, man. 2-1 Mansfield. Sod it. Wycombe Crawley.
2-0 Wycombe.
I don't like this.
It was your rule.
Yeah, I'm I'm going to go 2-1
Awful.
Wycombe. 2-1 Wycombe. Lincoln Orient.
2-1 Lincoln.
Going to go 2-0 then. Wrexham Northampton.
2-0 Wrexham. Have we 6 in a row?
Yeah.
We're not allowed to predict the same score, and I've gone with 6 of predictions. Jake went for identically.
Yep. I'm gonna go 3-0 Wrexham. If you get them first 6 spot on, I am going to jump off the Humber Bridge. Stockport Wigan. You won't get this one. Or if you do,
2-1 Wigan. I'm genuinely, that's what I thought.
Oh, I went 2-1 Wigan, so I'm gonna go 1-1.
Yeah.
Rotherham Reading.
2-1 Rotherham. 8 out of 8.
I'm gonna go 2. I'm gonna go 2-1. I'm gonna go 2-1 Reading.
I've stopped trying to think about the predictions now.
Bolton Shrewsbury. No way.
2-0 Bolton.
That's fine. I went for 4. I
was thinking 3, but I'll go 2.
I went 4. Charlton Birmingham.
Oh, Birmingham already won that.
Yep.
2-0 Blues.
Oh, thank God. I went for 3-1 Blues. Burton versus Bristol Rovers.
2-1 Burton.
I've gone 2-0 Burton. And then Exeter Cambridge. I'm just typing it in, so don't
2-1 Exeter.
What did you go?
2-1 Exeter.
Oh, I went for 2-0 Exeter. You are a little swine.
Go on the Cods. Go on the boys.
People are going to think that I've shared my notes with you, Ben. I have genuinely. Have I shared my score? I haven't. No. So that's how alike me and Ben think. So
that's worrying.
It is quite worrying.
Not just in football as well.
Yeah, not just in football. We do think alike for most things. That's why we get on so well. But
yeah, well,
I can't believe that. 8 out of 12. I've had to change.
Yeah. So, if you are new to the channel, please like, please subscribe. We're so close now to 15,500. We're 52 away. So, if you could subscribe, if you are new, just press subscribe. It's free to do so. We do League 1 and League 2 content, and there's 87 people in. If you fancy a little League 2 session, I know not a lot of people will be interested, but we are live. It's a quieter show, so it'd be good to get the numbers up on that. Come over and join me and Jack tomorrow night, Monday night at 8 p.m. for League 2 live. Get your questions in and we'll answer them before we go as well. Napper's 10th shot. We'll go on to this tomorrow. I'm going to do a segment on this, and I've actually done a Fleetwood TikTok video that's due to come out, and a Lincoln one that's going to go out after I finish on here as well. Ooh. Stockport the M will be the M for me. You're going to go, are you? JK for the Lincoln. Napper's here for the predictions. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just make them up as I go along, to be fair. Thanks. Good start. Now we end up winning 3-0 at Stockport the way we dominate the game. Where was it coming? Free pillow. Oh, fans joke. Do you fancy our challenge on Tuesday? I certainly do. Bailey Calamar treat. Yeah, I do, unless he has to sign autographs.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know. I think it'd be a tough place to go, Blackpool. I'd happily walk out of there with a point. Yeah, like we've mentioned it before in this show, Blackpool is a really tough place to go, and we've never really done well travelling up there. So yeah, I'd take a point now. Yes, I have. Jack Kershaw's now joined me every week on League 2 Live, buzzing to get the deal over the line. It was asking for a pay rise. It was like, is he joking?
Talking of League 2 content creations, and I got a firm grip today. Charlie, grip.
Don't spill it.
If anyone knows any content creations, because my first choice can't do it. My second choice, Tom Chappell's now Championship. Third choice, Jack Ward's now the Championship. Josh Talks EFL is League 2. Jack Turns League 2. My sixth choice turned me down because he's doing something else.
Who
My
was that?
7th choice isn't interested, so I might have to come live. I'm doing a show Wednesday evening of all the Tuesday games, and I've got no one to do it with. So if anyone fancies, the chances, let me know, and we'll get it sorted. Because
Go on as a trial.
Yeah, maybe just permanent
Joining
deal.
Nappers
Your
FC
contract is up. Your contract
Hey?
is up at the end of this season. Remember,
No, you say this every year, and then we go through the summer, and then you're like, Jake, will you come and do me another year? And I'm like, yeah, I'll do another year. And you're like,
what it's
unfortunately, the budget wouldn't stretch.
Jamie Jones signed for Wigan for a week, and he thought, nah, I'm all right. And he goes to Carlisle. That's what it's like. So, yeah. I tell you what, I've had a few up the tee. I've had 2 up the tee flops this week. One was a Morecambe fan, and one was a Cheltenham fan. And
Really?
a Cheltenham fan, one's I can't remember the names. What? Because I've had so much going on this week. No, I've had so much going on this week, and then whether it's been the gym, whether it's been football, whether it's been because I've recorded 2 episodes of the podcast this week. I've recorded two members videos that are going up, one this week and one at the start of this week, one at the end of next week. So jump below as a member, by the way. You won't regret it. 4 extra videos per month. I've recorded 6 TikToks today, prep for 3 shows, prep for 2 podcasts. I've worked a full week as well. I'm knackered. So
it's hard work, isn't it?
It's hard work doing 65 hours a week this week.
Literally. I know what you mean.
Yeah. I would be, but I would be at Stoke. Oh, what can I say, Sue? Got my ticket Thursday. Anyway, any final words, Jakey Boo?
Can I plug can we plug the podcast? Is that right?
It's a great podcast.
That you've still not listened to.
I have listened to it.
Go on, but
it's good.
Oh, really?
There's no buts. Yeah, it's really good.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I was sort of getting myself prepared for you, mentally prepared for you saying something.
There's no, mate. I wouldn't do that. It's a really good podcast. You put yourself out there, and look, when you're a club like Lincoln, it's important that you've got voices in around the football club, and it's not easy being the 3rd best podcast at a football club.
Shut up. Yes, thank you. Here for the Lincoln. There'll be an episode out on Tuesday, looking over the 2-0 win over Cambridge. Come and follow us on all the social medias. HTFL 1884 is the tag. We'll also have a preview up for next week for the Saturday's game against Leyton Orient with. Do you know Parksy from the Yellow Down? He's done a few on the EFL debates. We've got Parksy coming on from the States. Go on there with Fenton and Lep, and then also obviously that Football League podcast. When we're recording it, I don't know as of yet, but there should be an episode hopefully up on Tuesday as well.
Is that going to be on?
I doubt it. But if it is on, I will not be the only person on League One Live going to that game. Put it that way.
Yeah. But
that's out the bag now. I know, Rich. It's not coming to YouTube or Rumble at the moment. We're just focusing on audio.
Sell out.
Just because, right? I would put it on YouTube, but I need to speak to Leff and Fenton about it. Probably something that we'd be looking to do for next season. And also it's putting it up on the audio platforms, and then it's putting it up on YouTube. It's a whole different thing. So
I will be coming. I will be coming.
What, you're going to Bolton away in the BSM Trophy?
40 minutes away. You know something, right?
It's the BSM Trophy. What on earth are you doing?
10 minutes further away from my house and bloody Fleetwood is.
We've got Grimsby away in that a week on Tuesday. Am I going? They're our biggest rivals. Am I going Grimsby away in the BSM Trophy? Do you think I'm going?
No.
It's football. What do you reckon about the National League Cup? Considering you'll be competing in that next season,
we won't be. All I'll say is we've got a good squad here, and we've got a good team.
Keep going. Keep going. Go on.
We'll do okay this year.
Go on,
We'll do
Nappers.
okay.
Go on, Nappers. Get your back jaws on it.
33 points. I'd say we need another 33 points. Let's get to 45 points. Stay in the division, and we'll do just okay. And then we'll go from there. That's all I'll say.
When I watched you say we should have, did you say in your vlog against Cheltenham, we should have 15 points? I was like, that's 3 more than you're on now, and you've just won. I was thinking, what?
No, we should have 18 points.
So you think you should have won 6?
Yeah. Should have beat Gillingham. Should have beat County.
If my auntie had wheels,
she would have up against Notts County. Gills dominated the game. But you don't get it in football. We didn't play well yesterday, but won. Cheltenham are a charity and give us 3 points. Morecambe, embarrassing. Joke. So, yeah. That's me. I told Charlie what I thought.
Was that Sean Dyche and Charlie Adams sitting down, was it? I told Charlie what I thought. It was bloody awful against Morecambe. I was really annoyed. By the way, he said it. Napper said to me after the Morecambe game, it was the most frustrated he's ever been leaving a football game. And I've seen him leave Fleetwood 0, Lincoln 1, and he was stepping onto the tram at the time, and he looked like he was going to punch a hole through the glass. That's how mad he was. So I can only imagine the vandalism and destruction that occurred around the Highbury area on Monday evening. It must have looked like a nuke had hit it.
Yeah, Luke Littler. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, please subscribe if you have enjoyed it. Back live tomorrow, Monday night. Join us. League 2 live. It'd be great to see you all over there. Thanks very much for watching. Thank you, Jake. Up the Cods. Up the League 1.
Up the Imps. Up the Imps. That was fun.
Not bad, that.
What are you saying, bruv?
You make me vomit. That is an awful, awful word. Oh my god, bro. Sick in my mouth.
Can't start a fire.
Right, I'm muting you. Good night.
Without a spark. Tom Bailey. And he's playing 1 on Park.
Got it.
They requested me to sing, Ben. I did it.
I love you, Sue, but please, no.